Hey, what is up, Satsmate Stackers? Today I'm going to talk about how traveling will open your eyes up to the business world. Now, I grew up and my parents took me all around the United States with my sisters. It was an awesome experience. And, it was really cool because I got to see different ways of life, different walks of life, not just the bubble that I grew up in. I never really traveled internationally, though, just up until I met my now wife. I would just go to Newport Beach and the same places. And then when I met her, we started going to Mexico, El Salvador, all around the world. So I genuinely think that travel has opened up my eyes to more of the important things in life. And it actually helped me get out of my comfort zones. I used to have certain perspectives and kind of lines of thought that now I looked at and they're very warped. And I'm really glad and grateful that I had the opportunity to travel as much as I have. And I'm going to keep traveling when I can because I understand the value that it provides me and my line of thought. So, I've been to some of the most fancy places on earth and also some of the poorest places on earth. So, the fancy places would be like Switzerland or northern Como. Those places, I just the money in like Lugano and Zurich, it's just I didn't even realize that kind of wealth exists. Like it makes New York or LA look not as great as you'd think. But I've also been to the poorest places, right? Albania, Bosnia, remote Mexico, and El Salvador. Like these places, a lot of them they didn't have anything, right? So I think all of us humans, we just want the same things in common, right? We want to have love. We want to live a peaceful life away from state intervention. And we just want to do something that can help our family, secure our financial future, and just be okay, not have to worry about the future. So people also, they want to experience that life has to offer, right? They want to go on the boats. They want to eat nice food. They want to dress well and be generous to those that have less, right? I mean, everyone wants to have a nice quality of life. But the problem is, oftentimes, especially in certain places, things can be scarce, right? It's hard, for everyone to drive a Lamborghini, for everyone to have a nice mansion in North Scottsdale, for everyone to fly first class. If everyone flew first class, who would sit in economy, right? So there's this kind of design of society that we need to be aware of. And I think we got to do what we got to do to make it happen. Now, I think we should try to eat well, dress well, be generous, but life is more than that. I think what travel has taught me is compassion, right? There were certain, at least from when I've traveled to different countries, there were certain conditions people were born in that they're kind of stuck there almost. Like their ceiling is capped. And whether we're rich or poor, the poor, oftentimes they have just as good of a heart, if not better, than some of the rich. And the rich, sometimes you can see their lives are empty, right? So some were born with bad conditions they couldn't escape, and some were born with great conditions and then they went downward, right? Or some suffer with addiction. So, I mean, all in all, like traveling the world, you see the beggars everywhere. You see the rich everywhere. You see the middle class everywhere. It's the one thing we all want in common is family and the feeling that we're able to provide and that we can grow and we can have a secure future financially. I really, it's so incredible to see what life could be with tremendous money. I mean, guys, some of these Swiss trips I went on, you wouldn't believe how incredible it was. I didn't even realize life could exist like that. We were in Sicily, and some of the mega yachts, mind blowing. I mean, they had like 3 or 4 jet skis coming out underneath the yacht with a helicopter pad, and it was right next to our boat. We were jumping in and having fun and swimming with the jellyfish, but these guys, these boats right next to us. I mean, this guy must have had over $500 million at least, and you just seeing them go around in their jet skis, and life looked really fun. I mean, they probably had chefs on board. The way they lived was incredible. But I also recognize that life is more than that. You could die at any moment, right? So you got to play your cards right. The Swiss trips I went on was incredible. I mean, some of these people, they just lived the life of sailing on these blue interlocking lakes. And they would just sail and just enjoy the fine wine and enjoy the hors d'oeuvres, and they would just live life, right? There was no worry about teams and pressing buttons for the man. It was an incredible experience, really. So the wealth that you can get, it can buy you anything you want in this world, but it's more than that. We need to focus on friendships and family, relationships, being there for others. They say a successful business can solve key problems. I think that's why travel is important too, is because you can see what problems face humans universally, not just in your own country or bubble. You can go and travel and see, where can I solve problems around the world, right? And so I think that's really key as well, not just staying local, but going outside of your comfort zone. And, I think everyone in the world would be much better off if we all traveled more. Everyone would be, like Hawaii. I went to Hawaii and I did the marathon, Honolulu Marathon. It was an amazing experience. Everyone there was so welcoming and warm, and people there were amazing. And, it was just one of those things where I'll look back at when I'm on my deathbed and I'll remember that experience. And I think we should all try to do things like that. You're combining travel with adventure, right? You're not just traveling to do the touristy things. You're traveling to meet the locals. You're traveling to do a race or an adventure or a challenge, right? You're doing more than just checking a box. And then the next thing would be, I'm trying to go to New Zealand next year because I want to do the Hobbits on Half. That's where the Lord of the Rings was filmed. And I think we got to try to combine our trips too. Not try to do things to check boxes, but do things where you're knocking out several things at once. It makes the trips a little better, I think, from my view. And then keep doing those relaxing things where you can too. Not just always hustle, hustle, hustle. We got to keep exploring, keep seeing how people live, and be generous throughout our journeys. I think overall, guys, the moment we stay too local and we live in our bubble is the moment where we stop seeing the perspective of other people. And we got to always see the perspective of other people. That's one of the things I love about the World Cup too, is it's like a global festival. And I really like that. And I know that a lot of greed has come up with it, but, I genuinely think it's a global festival that unites the world. And I think there's something to be said about that. And, people are traveling across the whole world to come to the U.S. and they're seeing things about the U.S. that I don't think they realize. Like, oh, wow, you guys have ranch, you guys have this and that. It's not too bad. If you looked at just what the headlines say with our president, people do not want to come here at all. But when you go deeper and you see the food, you see the people, you see the locals, I'm sure a lot of these people coming here are really appreciating it. So I think travel does bring that too. If it's easy to get an opinion about Russia right now because of some of the leadership. But keep in mind, I bet you if you went there and you had some really nice Russians kind of helping shepherd you through the journey, you would have an incredible time. So just something to think about. I think we could all use more of that broader perspective, broader experience, and just getting out of our comfort zones, because it's so easy after a few weeks of staying local just to get in your comfort zone and follow the same routine. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one.